My brother-in-law does some work in Oakland, and he says it is rough. Like it's, I mean, the homeless population is so bad.
And there's no,
We'll go ahead and call to order Clark County Board of Education, May 20th, 2019 regular meeting at 6:30. Want to welcome everyone here tonight. Looks like we have some of Clark County's finest students here that we're going to recognize a little bit later, so welcome to you guys coming tonight. At this time, will everyone please stand for a moment of silence and the pledge. Now pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, at this time, I'd like for board members to review the agenda, and if there's any additions, subtractions you'd like to make, we can consider those.
I'd like to make a motion for item number 10 to include the verbiage of concussion helmets instead of just helmets.
All other board members, anybody disagree or concur with that? Seems good, just in between new and football, put concussion, is that?
That's agreeable.
Anyone else? All right, if that being so, then I'd ask for an adoption of the agenda with that one change that we've made.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Isom. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion passes. Item number 3, approval of minutes for April 16, 2019 regular meeting. Any changes or amendments to those, or if not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Talby.
You can't. You weren't here, were you?
That's all right, you still can.
I still
can. You're still in the old ways.
I am. I gotta catch up now. Slacking.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. All right, student staff recognition. I understand we do have some students to be recognized tonight. I'll let Mr. Christie do his reading, and I'll...
First group I'd like to talk about, the Governor's School for the Arts is a summer residential program for outstanding high school arts students in Kentucky who are rising juniors or seniors. Students who are selected to attend GSA without charge are eligible for a number of significant scholarship opportunities. GSA's mission is to inspire students to build lifelong relationships with the arts, to empower them to change lives through the arts, and to celebrate the diversity of communities. During the program, the students are immersed in an intensive training program in the arts discipline for which they were accepted. Through interactions with instruction by a faculty or professor of artists and educators, art-specific field trips, and curated special events, students will discover the power of their art forms and their place as artists. The GSA experience culminates with a full-day showcase and commencement ceremony during which friends, family, and other supporters may witness the end of the hard work and the creative exploration the artists have undertaken over the previous 3 weeks. In order to participate in GSA, students must first submit a video recording that demonstrates not only their skill as artists, but also showcases their personalities and commitment to using their art to better the lives of others. If selected to move on to the final round, students compete on a statewide level with an in-person interview and audition. Selection for the program is highly competitive with an application process similar to that of prestigious arts colleges and universities. No guarantees are made to any students that they will be selected from a school. making it even more impressive to be one of the 256 talented artists selected from over 1,400 applicants across the state. And like it says, there's no guarantees are made to any student or any school, and GRC is fortunate enough to have 3 selected for the Governor's School for the Arts. I'd like to ask those 3 if you would, if they're here. I think we have a couple that couldn't be with us. Galen Arnett was selected in drama, the field of drama. I'm not sure, yeah. Come on up front. Benjamin Carpenter, visual arts. And Serena McQuarrie. Serena not with us tonight. Congratulations to those students. The Governor's Scholar Program is a summer residential program for outstanding high school students in Kentucky who are rising seniors. Students are selected to attend the program without charge. The program's mission is to enhance Kentucky's next generation of civic and economic leaders. During the program, students are immersed in a high learning program which has 3 components: a focus area, which is a major subject of study assigned according to a scholarly preference as indicated on the application. The second one is a general studies, which is an area of study assigned by staff to challenge the scholars. Courses frequently include service learning components in the community. And the third is a seminar. It's a discussion-based small group session where emphasis is placed on respectful debate and discussion. Scholars are encouraged to ask probing questions. Faculty and staff also invite a variety of speakers and performers from a range of disciplines and pursuits to visit campus. Carefully organized field trips, special events, and a film series also contribute to the comprehensive educational atmosphere in which scholars are challenged not only to examine, but more importantly, to nurture their sense of learning and leadership. In order to participate in the program, students must be nominated by their high schools and then compete on a statewide level. Selection for the program is highly competitive with an application process, again, similar to that of prestigious colleges and universities, in addition to an academic profile that includes difficulty of course load, GPA, and at least one standardized test score. The application requires an outline of all extracurricular activities, a history of volunteer service, and a list of job positions held. Teacher recommendations include both quantitative evaluation and qualitative descriptions of the student's performance and potential. The final component of the application is an original essay completed by each of the students. GRC once again is fortunate, and we have 5 students that were chosen for this program, and I'd like to recognize first Mackenzie Cooper. Caroline Cuccinelli. Rachel Puckett. Hayden Turley. And Hunter Helderman. Hunter's not with us tonight. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for representing George Rogers Park High School.
And we just got a boring meeting coming up, so feel free to...
You're free to leave, you can get some of those community service hours here now.
Thank you all, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Did you get the public comment? Right, having no public comments, we go on to student support services. Item number 4, consider approval to escrow Ket's third offer of assistance in the amount of $23,637. Mr. Christie.
Recommendation to escrow, the amount is listed.
Board members, comments, questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Heisel. Have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 0. Item number 5, consider approval and renewal of part-time adjunct instructor at the Area Technology Center for EMT certification program for $7,300. Mr. Christie?
Recommendation to renew that. This, if you'll recall, this was something that you did last year for the first time as we began a career path in the EMT certification program. It was quite successful, and we'd like to continue that again this year. So in the amount of $7,300.
Board members' questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll
This-
second.
Yeah, that was Ms. Ritchie and Ms. Richardson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Item number 6, consider approval of employment of health services teacher in the Area Technology Center from part-time adjunct instructor to full-time certified teacher at an additional cost of $24,672. Mr. Christie?
Recommend that you move this from a part-time adjunct instructor to a full-time certified teacher. They've taken care of the certification piece. What this is, it's the number of students is growing. This is a program that's going to allow us to create another career path, and working with Eastern Kentucky University right now so that these students, when they leave GRC, they can go directly into Eastern Kentucky University in the sports medicine program.
Questions or comments from board members?
That was health sciences, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be another career path for the health sciences.
I'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Ritchie makes a motion, have a second.
No second.
Second by Mr. Tolby. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number 7, consider approval of employment of teachers with emergency certification for the 2019-2020 school year. Mr. Christie?
Recommend the approval for employment of teachers with emergency certification. If you recall, this is primarily for substitute teachers. At this point, we do not have any teachers, full-time teachers, that are non-certified. So this is just for substitute teachers.
Any questions or comments from board members? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Tolby,
Second?
second by Mr. Heisel. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number 8, requesting approval to operate community eligibility provision for the 1920-2020 school year. Mr. Christie?
Recommendation to continue to operate the community eligibility provision as we have in the past. This is for meals at all schools.
Board members'
It's been very
questions?
successful.
Board members' questions or comments? There are none. I'm entertaining a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Richardson,
Second.
second by Ms. Ritchie.
Can I add one thing? If you get a chance, when the meeting's over, if you go out this side door, you'll see the bus that we just got in. This is for our summer meals program, where we'll go out and use this program in the community to feed the students during the summer months. We just got the bus back in today. It looks great. We're in the process now of putting some tables and chairs inside there so that, and it'll be air conditioned on the inside so that when we go out, the kids can actually come into the bus to eat. They have several different locations throughout the community that they go on a regular schedule.
Was it
We
newly
served
wrapped?
several thousand meals last summer.
It was newly wrapped.
Newly wrapped, yeah, we just got it back today. It's one of our surplus buses that we went through and had it wrapped.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second on that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number 9, consider approve and approval of workers' compensation insurance coverage to begin July 1st, 2019. You do have those bids in your packet, and then Mr. Christie can speak about it and give his recommendation.
You have this was put out to bid. You have the results of those bids. You see that there were 3, go back and see, I think it was 3 bids. As you look through those, you will see that the lowest bid on the workers' comp was submitted by Winchester Insurance Agency through the Liberty Mutual carrier. And my recommendation would be to go with that for this year, this coming year.
And the amount on that, Mr. Christie?
The amount is $399,511.
Board member comments or questions?
Not at the moment.
Just to verify, so in terms of the coverage, I'm assuming this all has the same state mandated, and in terms of the service from Liberty, have you all had a chance to at least review that, make sure that?
We currently have all of our liability, fleet and liability insurance with Liberty, and we have for several years now on that, and have had excellent service. Now, I made the recommendation on this one as I did. I'd like to put a kind of a rider on that and would recommend to this board that next year that you bid out the property and liability and workers' comp all in one package next year. I think there's still some substantial savings to be had by bidding out the entire, the two packages together. And the property and liability will be back up for bid next year. So that would be a perfect opportunity to do that.
And in terms of loss control recommendations and things like that, then I suppose you feel comfortable with moving to Liberty?
Yes.
Other questions, comments?
So are we approving the Liberty Mutual
For
agreement?
workers' comp for the coming year.
Or we, okay.
We'd be approving the workers' compensation insurance coverage be awarded to Liberty Mutual. Is that what we're saying? Or
Correct.
do we do the agency? We do
Liberty
to
Mutual
Liberty Mutual.
through Winchester Insurance
Through
Agency.
Winchester. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve workers' compensation insurance coverage through Liberty Mutual for $399,511, which is through Winchester Insurance. Coverage began July 1st, 2019.
And a motion by Mr. Talby. We have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Heisel. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Good. Item number 10, consider approval of purchase of new concussion football helmets and pads for George Rogers Clark High School football team in the amount not to exceed $40,000. I know I've had time to speak with Mr. Christie as others, but I do think there are some representatives here, so if there are additional questions from board members, if you want to throw those out there.
These helmets, I will say that on this recommendation, recommend that you do that in an amount not to exceed $40,000, and I think it is the coach has made the choice, and so has the athletic director and principals. They've all made it is the concussion helmet. It is Zenith. That's the helmet that they're looking to do.
So the others are not concussion helmets, is that what we're saying?
I don't know about that. I think my understanding was there's a test that they all have to submit to, but.
I mean,
You wanna add
there's
anything
helmets
to-
out there that's not concussion helmets,
No,
obviously, but, I'm sorry.
I can speak to it if you guys like. So all the products we put out are 5-star rated. The Zenith Shadow is the product that we're looking to pursue, and it's our newest product. It is our top of the line product. The way we handle our product is slightly different. How we orchestrate and protect our athletes, and with our technology, how we protect our athletes is the reason why GRC is looking to move forward with our product.
You said they're 5-star rated?
Correct.
Who rates that?
Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech does a third-party testing for helmets. Usually they're like a high school, college level rating. The NFL also does a study in its higher level contact, which the Virginia Tech would do the contact, which would be more similar to like a high school level game, high school level contact.
But has Virginia Tech rated the Shadow helmet?
They have not. We do internal testing, and we have the same specs that Virginia Tech uses and NFL uses. And our Zenith Shadow is higher ranked than our X2E helmet and our Epic Plus helmet, which both were top 6 in the Virginia Tech ratings last year.
Yeah, one was 4th, I think, wasn't it?
Correct.
I don't know if it was the Epic or the,
There were 4 and 6. The
4 and 6.
X2E was 4 and the Epic was 6.
and the Shadow helmet just came out in December?
It released in December, yes, sir. We have had on field testing as well. We've had it across multiple college programs, NFL as well, and a couple high school programs. The only high school program in Kentucky that was able to use it kind of in the spring for the testing was Mercer County, who's another one of our elite programs.
There's one of the helmets for a sample if you want to see a sample.
Oh, you have one?
You
I
have
do
it?
have one if you'd like to see a sample.
Somebody will put it on and run into the wall.
That'd be big. Oh, no, stop.
Long, go ahead.
Mr. Christie, if you discuss this with the coach and
Yes.
AD, is it appropriate to
So
amend
this is the
the?
new helmet, the shadow?
Yes, ma'am.
And so is it the inside parts, that are the tested part?
The outside, so they do testing on the outside. I kind of give you a quick spiel, kind of how our helmets are different. There's three things that kind of separate our helmet. Our padding inside the helmet is not attached to the shell, whereas any other company in the industry, their padding is attached to the shell. The reason why we don't do it, our padding inside is all shock absorbers, so we provide a dual layer protection. The shell is going to be that outside layer protection. Your shock absorber is going to give you an extra layer protection inside, so you have a dual stage protection. Our chin strap kind of wraps around, so every time your athlete puts the helmet on, they get a custom fit. You'll see how it kind of pour the bottom chin strap, how the bonnet will cinch down. That'll cinch down to make sure athletes are having a custom fit every time they put their helmet on. A big reason why folks get concussions is actually your helmet's not fit properly or it's moving. This eliminates that option, so it allows for better protection. And we also have an industry first shell with this shell. It's a nylon polymer shell. Most shells in the industry are polycarbonate shell. Quick example, a polycarbonate shell generally can take about 300 very high impacts before it starts to get any cracks or bends. With our nylon polymer shell, it took 6,000 points of contact before it had any type of damage to it.
I'm gonna put it on.
Oh,
Feel free to.
Now, my understanding,
Mess my
your
hair up.
proposal also includes shoulder pads with the helmets?
Correct. Shoulder pads as well. It's helmets, shoulder pads. It's also co-branded marketing, so they'll get marketing exposure. The high school will get marketing exposure through our Zenith outlets. And they kind of get all of our preferred treatments. So how Mercer County got to kind of sample and try to shadow out early and no one else could, they'll get additional benefits such as that.
And the color that's specified is white and then a scarlet face mask?
Correct. Correct.
Is that right?
So what you're recommending, Mr. Christie, is the Zenith, and you have spoken to both athletic director and coach,
Coach.
and this is what their
Their ask.
request is.
And it does not exceed the $40,000.
So our motion would be then what you're asking or to do is approve the purchase of the Zenith concussion football helmets and pads for the George Rogers Clark High School football team in an amount not to exceed $40,000. That's basically the
Correct.
motion that you are recommending.
It's up to board members to make the motion, so. Are we through with discussion?
Just a question in terms of control of the helmet. Mr. Christie, since there's a substantial investment in it, how will you all monitor these to the student athletes that will get them? Will they actually be checked out to them with the serial number and then they come back, and that way if one goes missing, you know, we can go back and recover it,
Coach
certain
would be
sort of
doing a
paperwork or
home
something like
visit,
that?
would be-
yeah, they do equipment.
Yes,
checks
they check them out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's checked out and
This is
And they
reassigned
have
each
to-
year.
Yeah.
Isn't-
That's by
And
law.
additional touch point, most companies will not do it. We actually do have serial numbers inside of each helmet to
Oh,
track.
do you really?
Yeah, we literally have serial numbers inside of our helmets.
You do have serial
Track.
numbers in there?
Correct, we do.
Most don't have that.
Correct. Not sure if any do. Some may have added it since we do it now, but yeah. I won't say anyone does.
Any other questions or comments, board members? We have two football parents here, so.
Anything else?
Where's your ring from?
I used to play football at Ohio State, so won the national championship in
Oh,
2014.
good deal. I saw the ring.
Ohio State?
I wanted to ask.
I wasn't going to.
Those rings gotta stand out, so I just wanted to impress where it was.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
Any other questions or comments or board member?
It's bigger than my Fitbit ring.
That's kind of right.
I'd like to make a motion to approval of purchase of the new concussion Zenith football helmets and pads for the George Rogers Clark High School football team in an amount not to exceed $40,000.
Have a motion by Mr. Tolly,
I'll second.
have a second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number, thank you very much for coming in, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Item number 11, consider approval of purchase of a football stadium video scoreboard proposal from Daktronics in the amount of $168,094. Mr. Christie.
Make the recommendation to approve the purchase of that video scoreboard proposal, Daktronics, in that amount.
Board member questions and comments?
I just want to validate the time frame on and the installation of that.
The posts, the support beams I didn't get out there today, but they should have started going into the ground today, into concrete, and that should be completed. We've got a construction meeting Thursday. Hopefully that'll be completed before the construction meeting Thursday. If approved tonight, both basketball and football scoreboards will be put into production, and they will be delivered by the end of June with installation completed before the 4th of July. And the track is not scheduled to be asphalted until it was the week after the 4th of July, which gives this an opportunity to take place before the track is completed, so they can get the equipment in much easier than coming up that hill on the backside.
Track use this scoreboard too?
Yes, they can. This is the system, I talked with Coach Dixon, and the system that they use for scoring for track, this scoreboard will take.
Soccer, everything.
Soccer, it's made for soccer. It converts all of the names and everything, it's digital, so you can program those instead of points, it'll be goals, those kinds of things, so it is usable by multiple sports. When you talk about the basketball, it's also set up to do wrestling, volleyball, and basketball.
Well, that's the gym. right?
That's the gym, we'll talk about the next one, but this one will do soccer, football, track.
And this amount is just for the football?
This is just the
Correct.
football.
Okay.
Can you speak on the quality, the resolution?
On this one, it's a 5.9, that's above what most are. If you go to Kroger Field, it's a 6.0. This is a better resolution than what's at UK's Kroger Field, right?
This is a
Not quite as big, but
Yeah.
it's a higher resolution. And it's a different type board made for the exterior. It gave the dimensions there. I think it's about 25 feet wide. I remember the exact height, 14 something, close to 14 tall.
Was
The
it cost
scoreboard-
prohibitive to go higher than that? I mean, 5.9
Not at the
is-
football, I would not, and that wasn't the recommendation or anything from Daktronics to go above that resolution at the football, because you're so far away and it gives a much clearer picture the further you are. When in the gym where you're up much closer, it's a difference, that's the difference in the two.
And this also
This-
includes the play clock?
Yes.
Okay.
This package includes the play clocks, one at the back, below the scoreboard, when you're going one direction, on the other end, it's on a pole on the other end, so that going both directions, you have play clocks. It also includes inside the locker rooms of both teams. It has a clock so that coaches and players from inside the locker room can see how much time's left on the clock at halftime or prior to the start of the game, instead of sending somebody out to run out to check that. It's in the home and the visitors' locker rooms, also in there. There's a locker or a dressing room for the officials. It's also in that room too, so that the officials know what time is on the clock. That's all part of it. And that includes the box, the control box, which is digital. It includes a camera, but we're going to look to upgrade that. I'll be coming back to you for that. We're going to look to upgrade that to a higher quality of camera so we can do more things with the camera than what the one that came with this one, what the spec with this one will allow us to do. That'll be a small change, but we're also designing a class. Mr. Bowen is already working on a class that will teach media production. And so this will, and through Daktronics, there is a curriculum that comes with teaching the class. The curriculum is designed around using that equipment. I think we're going to be able to do a lot of really neat stuff.
Other questions, comments?
I had several questions to just dovetail on what you were just talking about. So this does include a camera?
There was a camera that was spec'd, but it doesn't do live production. it's a camera that you can go out and you can video some things, and you put it basically on a thumb drive or on a computer and then replay it. We're wanting to go to a camera where we can do live production, so you can actually video people in the stands and that kind of thing, and it's live on the screen. And we'll look to, I'm working with Mr. Bowen on how we're going to do that, whether we would come back to you or through the class or through the school, or how we're going to work on that. But it's not a unrealistic amount for the camera anyway. But
Okay.
and what we would do when we upgrade that, we will go back and they will pull out what was in this, and we'll take that probably back out.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understand what it looked like, because the thing that was included kind of missed these two things on the side.
On the sides where you're pointing there, those will be blank sessions. That's something that the school, the boosters, that can use for advertising. Those two panels, and I think they're about 3 foot by 10 feet
Okay.
wide, and they're going to be blank.
I just mocked this part up so I could understand it, because I thought that the video screen was going to be that wide.
No,
But this-
there's
so
two
this
side
does give
panels. The score, yeah.
It does give us room for advertising.
Yes.
That's good. Very good.
And in addition to the two sides, we could come back, and through Daktronics, you could purchase the board that mounts to the bottom, do additional advertising across the bottom if there were more possibility of advertising. There is another board that will go across the bottom where you could do 2 or 4 more advertisements.
I've seen that. That was, Boone County had that. Yeah.
Did you all, obviously, well, per our packet, this was under the state bid. I guess it's technically under the AEPA bidding arrangement. Did you all also run the numbers on what a like-kind configuration
Yes,
cost for
we did.
Nevco?
We did look, we looked at two
Nevco.
others. Nevco was one, and I can't remember them. Slam Dunk was another one. Daktronics, the quality, much better, or it appeared to us that it was in looking at all of them. When you look at the other schools across the state, Daktronics carries about 75% of the scoreboards at the high school, collegiate, and professional level.
Was there any significant pricing difference between those
No.
vendors?
Now, I will say that when we did the pricing, we were looking at the basics, and then as we kind of determined what group we were going to go with, we began to add more things like play clocks and the clocks in the so from the base bid, that they were all very similar in the base bid, and we did add some extras.
But that included the video displays?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Same size videos, or as close in size as each company made.
Okay. Is there a representative from Daktronics?
Yeah, Scott's here.
Well, Scott, I'm Scott. Nice to see you.
I didn't see Scott there. I didn't see him in here.
Is it possible to split out the component cost since it's on a state bid list? If not now, maybe just so we have a notation of it later. I'm really kind of curious about that part.
Split out
The cost. I mean, so there's 4 or 5 different components in this, and they're all lumped in together. Is that something that's on the state bid list we can look at later?
Well, the whole process is there. It's the company, the materials at the company. I thought it's not broken out in the, I thought we had that.
Is that a package like it says Daktronics Live Video Display? I mean, is that the package, and then you get everything in that package, or is each one of these line item?
On the, I'm not sure.
On the bid.
Oh, that.
On the quote, the actual quote.
Yeah, so it's all in basically, subbed in as one big number. It's not broken out.
There were some parts of it that were broken out, like the locker room clocks was $1,700. The installation cost was broken out, freight was broken out. And the remaining parts of it, the score clock and the video displays all in one piece there.
We had it broken out and we started adding the pieces that they wanted to go with. We started putting that into the main parts, so it was broken out in one.
Okay. I'll probably ask that as a more pointed question when we get to the gym in terms of the component costs. Were there any consultations with, I know when reading, I spent a lot of time looking on the Daktronics site in the last couple of days. They've got apparently a sports marketing division that helps schools and institutions essentially go through the process of, once you have this capability, how do you recover some of the investment from it?
Yes, there was, and we have that option to work with them. It's included at no cost to us. We're getting the curriculum that I talked about and have met with one of Scott's counterparts, Peter, that does the marketing part, and we will have access to that marketing piece at no cost. Any ads that are sold, they help us to design and help us sell. We get 100% of the proceeds. They get nothing from any of the ads that they work with us on. And there is a program that we've already met with them. I think Mr. Bowling was there with us when we met with them on that program.
Trying to look at the totality of the picture. Coming down the line, obviously, is the gym, but later on, will there be a proposal in front of us for the softball and baseball as add-ons? Or is it
We're pretty
included in
close
their
to ready to go
schedule?
on that. There are no video boards in that. This is your basic scoreboards.
Okay.
They would match this with the same arch and the cardinals across the top. They would look the same, only without the video boards. And there's two sizes. The softball, both of the scoreboards are sized proportionately per the size of the field. So the softball would be probably a little bit smaller, but proportionally it would look the same as the baseball does on the bigger field.
Okay.
And I have the mock-ups of those. I did not include them in here yet.
Okay. And there were, as we were working through our packet, there's a lot of emails went back and forth. I appreciate you answering those questions I had, so it didn't further bog down this meeting. That's all I had on this particular item.
Other questions, comments, board members? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve purchase of the stadium video scoreboard proposal from Dectronics in the amount of $168,094.
Motion by Mr. Talby, do I have a second?
Second.
Is that Ashley?
Yeah.
Second by Ashley Ritchie, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, consider approval of Daktronics purchase proposal for the new video boards, equipment, and installation costs for the George Rogers High School gymnasium and athletics field project, BG 16238. Mr. Christie.
Recommendation to purchase the Daktronics proposal, and I would recommend also the 3.9 resolution board. I'll go back and look at it. There was an additional cost, and I don't have it right in front of me. If you, in the amount with the 3.9 millimeter, would be $284,000 installed.
Chris, may I also point out that there's an additional cost for the extended parts and labor that would be in addition to that amount for 4 more years. The board would also
Yes.
consider that in a motion.
Which was the number you was on? What was the number you had?
284.
284, okay.
That's for the equipment.
Make sure I was on the right page.
If you desire the 2-year labor and, parts, and 5-year.
The upgrade includes going from what's included is a 5-year parts with a 1-year labor. The optional upgrade on the lake is a upgrade to go full 5 years of on-site labor as well.
What's the, say something happens to the scoreboard, we need maintenance, we have the extended warranty. What's the turnaround on getting someone from Dectronics to come and,
It's quick. We have authorized service companies in Cincinnati,
okay,
Louisville, and Knoxville.
okay.
Typically, it's, we'll work with you on this.
Does it depend on the severity? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously if you've got some event that's coming up and you're just in dire need and need it, we can, service this.
This doesn't have to be approved. I don't know, I didn't catch that was even on, I wouldn't saw it.
Board member questions, comments?
good.
Okay.
In going through the proposal for the gym, I did have a lot more serious concerns about this. In terms of an overall proposal, so essentially there's scoreboards in 2 corners, and I'll just put that in quotes, scoreboards in 2 corners, and there's video displays in the other 2 corners. And my first question for the rep is, of other high schools in Kentucky, is it typical to have 2 video displays in a gym of this size?
A lot of times it's dictated by the application or the size of the gym or what they're trying to achieve.
Are you aware of any other high schools in Kentucky that have 2 video displays?
Not in Kentucky that I'm aware of, not where they have 2 on them in the corners like that. But there's not very many gyms that are, that have, like the setup that, you guys have, where you have the capability to do that. I'm not aware of it off the top of my head.
The size of these displays, in going through your all site to the other installations out there, I didn't see anything else in Kentucky that's anywhere near the size on the video displays. Are you aware of anything else out there?
Highlands High School, I don't know if you were able to pull that one.
Yeah,
It's not as big. The size of the gym and the support structures that are going to be in place guided us in the direction of selecting those sizes.
if my math is right, and I'll accept the right to be wrong, this one's about twice the size of Highlands in terms of square footage.
The video portion, I don't think it was as.
But we don't really need to get bogged down in that. Can we agree that it's larger than Highlands?
The video, just the
video
is
display, yeah.
larger than Highlands.
Yeah, but that's really obviously we need to have this scoreboard.
It's a really small gym. They have maybe 5 to 10 rows of bleachers on one end, on one side, and then about 5 to 10 on the other, and then a few on each end. The gym is much smaller than this size gym.
In terms of your all's production time, obviously we have a little bit more time on the gym than what we have on the stadium. If there were concerns, and I'll just be honest, I have concerns about having 2 video displays of this size in there. Will it mess up any pricing or any other delivery issues if we de-link these and if there was a majority interest in the board, which there may not be, to table this portion for the gym purchase to a later date? Would that affect in any way the production of the football equipment?
Will it impact the production of the football?
Yes.
No.
When I said football, I should have said stadium, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it should not.
Other questions, comments? If not,
I've got one. Can you just briefly describe the quality difference between the 3.9 and, I'm sorry, 3.9 and 5.9? I know it's, what is that, HD, or is that close to?
Near HD.
It's near
3.9 would be just under HD.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close, so to be true HD, you have to be at 720 lines of resolution.
Okay.
On the 3.9, we're a shade under that. So it's approaching that. It's a pretty substantial difference in total number of the pixels, which make up the resolution of the board when we go from a 5 to a 3.
On the videos, since there's 2 videos, will they be showing the same thing?
Correct.
At the same, so,
Whatever goes on one
One's
goes on
will
the
go
other.
other.
They will not
Okay.
be independent.
okay.
Roughly twice the pixel from a 3.9 to a 5.9, double pixel.
More than double. It's a 132% increase from the 5 to 3.9.
with the 5-year, that's 5-year.
What's the lead time on the scoreboards?
12 weeks.
Okay.
You good?
Okay. Sorry.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So suffice it to say, to summarize my comments, I feel like we ought to get estimates of a smaller size screen, and we're not under time pressure to do it. And so when it's time for motions, I would like to be making a motion now.
Can I say one thing about the size first? And we did not go for the size just to be the largest in the state. I mean, that's kind of nice to be able to say that, but that was not the reason we chose the size. The reason we chose the size we arrived at where we are is because of the span of the beams that holds it. Otherwise, is this scoreboard now, you've got the vertical beams, it's going to mount directly to those. Anything smaller is going to be inside there, which means you're going to have to manufacture cross beams, and you're going to have this video board that's kind of stuck out in the middle of the hole there. And your scoreboards are going to be larger.
Do we have to have 2 screens, or could we get by with 1?
You can get by without any. Depends on what you want. Now, you can get by without, a lot of schools don't have any. But the way, again, it goes back to the way this gym is laid out with the 4 corners, and it was the perfect, it was the opportunity.
I'd just like to make a comment. I think Mr. Christie and his team has went through the, the different, looking at different, different solutions and different scoreboards, and took the gym into consideration. And we want to make this a showcase. I think we want to make this, that's been the discussion. We want to make the athletic complex for our students a show place, to host events, to help the community, to engage the community. And I'm personally okay with the 2 scoreboards in the video.
If you locate one in one corner, a certain portion of the folks, it's going to be to their back anyway. So no matter where you are in the gym, you've got view of a scoreboard and a video board. No matter which end or which side you're sitting on, you have a view of a scoreboard and a video board, no matter where you sit. With only one board somewhere around the ends of that corner, some folks are going to be sitting to see the video board's going to turn around to look up and back.
As far as the time frame, I feel like we're a little bit behind on the football, so I'd much rather be ahead of the basketball. So, the sooner the better. So that, because there's going to be other things we need to discuss and decide on.
With no other discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the Daktronics purchase proposal for the 3.9 video boards, equipments, and installation costs that will include the 2 to 5 year parts and labor for a total cost of $304,400.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you for coming in tonight. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Scott.
Item number 13, consider approval of preschool lunchroom tables per KDE requirement in the amount not to exceed $19,000. Mr. Christie?
Recommendation is to proceed with purchase of lunchroom tables. State requirements is that 75% of your students have to be able to be seated and their feet touch the floor. And when we redistricted and we reconfigured, we pulled cafeteria chairs out of elementaries. And as it is right now, this is what it will take to bring us into compliance to meet that 75% rule of KD.
Board members, comments or questions? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Heisel, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Richardson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Item number 14, consider approval of pay application number 17 to Codell Construction Contractors and Suppliers for the George Rogers Park High School Gymnasium Athletics Field Project BG 16238 in a total amount of $752,819.98. Mr. Christie.
Recommendation to pay application number 17 to Codell Construction.
Board members, comments, questions? Or entertain a motion?
Make a motion as written.
Mr. Talby gives a motion. Second. Second by Ms. Ritchie. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed here? Item number 15, consider approval of pay application number 1514-29 to Ross Architects for the GRC Gymnasium Athletics Field Project BG 16238 in the amount of $9,251.22. Mr. Christie.
Recommend approval of pay application number 1514-29 to Ross Torrance.
Board members, comments, questions, or motion?
So So moved.
Moved by Ms. Ritchie, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talby, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number 16, consider approval of pay application number 182908 to Ross Tarn Architects for the George Rogers Clark High School Field House and Athletics Project BG 18-334 in the amount of $4,510.41. Mr. Christie.
Recommendation to pay application number 1829-08 to Ross Tarn Architects.
Question, comments, motion?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Heisel, I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item 17, consider approval of change order number 5-5 to ABR Construction for the George Rogers Clark High School Gym and Athletics Field Project BG 16238, amount of $1,000. Mr. Christie.
Recommendation to pay for approval of change order number 5-5 to ABR Construction.
That is,
That's the, on the backside of the stadium, some of the, it's to paint the materials on the backside so that it matches.
Oh, which one are you on 17?
17.
Okay, wait a minute, let me make sure I'm,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
ABR in the amount of $1,000? Yes. It's change order 5-5 to ABR Construction.
I had mine listed
It's to
wrong.
change the red oxide primer paint of the stadium wall girders to a galvanized steel so it matches everything else that was up there.
Board members, questions, comments, or a motion?
Motion is written.
Mr. Talbot makes a motion, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Ritchie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Item number 18, consider approval change order number 13-5 to Atlas Metal Products for the GRC Gymnasium Athletics Field Project BG 16-238 in the amount of $2,000. Mr. Christie.
Recommend approval of change order 13-5 to Atlas Metal Products. That's taking a 6-foot section of bleacher area behind the goals that roll in and making it to be a portable piece so that when the goals are in use and you can't have the seats there, this is a portable piece that's removable. So when you do take the goals out, this piece comes back in and adds the seating back in. It makes it use all the bleacher area usable for other events other than a basketball game.
Board member questions, comments?
Do you, for $2,000, do you think we need this?
Yes, yeah, for looks and for the aesthetic, yeah. And it keeps you straight bleachers across the bottom sides and everything there.
That's
For
good.
things like graduation, things like that, staging and that kind of thing, probably straight across.
Same manufacturer, so they're standing behind how it integrates together from a
Yes.
mechanical and
Yes.
safety standpoint.
Other questions, comments? Or entertain a motion?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Heisel, you have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talby, all those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Item 19, approval change order number 12-1 to CKSM Mechanical for the George Rogers Clark Fieldhouse Athletics Project. Is that BG 18, I guess? Is that down there, or is that just 18? It's BG, right?
Yeah, BG
BG 18,
334.
334, an amount of $993, Mr. Christie.
18. Recommend the approval of the change order 12.1 to CKSM Mechanical. That's for install a domestic water line and a new floor drain in the training area that we omitted somehow in the beginning. It needs to be there for water drainage, and that's the installation of that. And it gives an added value to the project. So,
Question, comments from board members? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Richardson, do I have a second? Second by Ms. Ritchie, all those in favor, signify by say aye. Clear. Item number 20, consider approval of pay application number 3 to Codell Contractor Suppliers for the George Rogers Clark High School Fieldhouse and Athletics Project, BG 18334, in the amount of $227,315.81. Mr. Christie.
recommend approval of pay application number 3 to Codell Contractors and Suppliers
Board members' comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Talby, second by Ms. Ritchie. Is that good?
That'd be fine.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Under internal board business, item number 21, consider approval of grant superintendent permission to approve emergency change orders up to $20,000. I'm talking to Mr. Christie, and we're under so many deadlines here anymore, and this is pretty much a standard, I think, on most projects that people have. This is probably the first project we've had to where we've really had deadlines with football practice coming up and things like that in the fall. So I thought that I would entertain this to the board to see if the board would look to give Mr. Christie that authority. All change orders must be, he must call board members to let them know that this is going to happen. You get in a situation where there might be $1,000 change order needs to be done, and it's 3 weeks before we meet, that puts them behind. So I thought this would be good to do this. And again, talking to architects and Mr. Christie, this is something that they find standard in other people's projects, but it is up to you. Board members' questions. You have anything to add to that, or you find?
No, just a case in point, need a special survey. Once we changed to the bigger scoreboard, that meant deeper into the ground, which we didn't have the special inspections, that was $1,300. And to wait on that to get it, we need that, be able to prove that on the spot. If we have to wait till next month, you're going to delay the open up by a month. So little things like that can delay it if we have to wait 2 or 3, 4 weeks to come back into a board meeting. Like I said, I'll make the calls before I approve anything. And then the change order itself will come before this board.
Right. But he's not calling asking for a vote. Let's get that straight. He's not calling asking you for a vote. He's just calling to inform you that this is what we're going to do, and we would come back and approve the change order at the meeting. Questions or comments from board members?
Is the term emergency defined anywhere, or is it just subject to your definition of what an emergency would be?
I would think anything that would delay the opening of the facility by waiting till the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Well, this just isn't for the facility, though. This is for anything that may come up.
No, I'm talking, this is for our construction projects. I'm not asking for anything. It's just for the
two construction projects that we
Construction
have. When those are completed, this is null and void right here. And there's nothing else. It's just for the fields and also the gymnasium.
Yeah.
That is in there.
The 20,000, was there any, could you live with 10, or do you think there are items that 20 could get by, or? that you
20
would
was
have to
because
have?
the 20, anything over 20 anyway I wouldn't feel comfortable doing anything over 20. If it's 20 or more, it's going to come before you before it goes, no matter what the problem is. The others, I don't know of anything that we've got. I know of one change order or two that might would exceed that, but you'll be involved in the discussion of those before any decisions made. And other than that, I don't know of anything. I couldn't tell you if we're going to have, there's going to be $1,000 or $10,000 that you don't know till you hit it.
Were you thinking this would apply to the stadium, the gym, and
Athletic
phase 3,
fields. And the athletic fields out there, just the construction's going on out there.
all of those
Two
items,
two
not just the
construction
stadium.
projects we got going.
The 2 construction projects, yeah, there's 2 projects, the 2 BGs. Now, if it's something that their time allows for it to come in, I'm not going to make that decision. It will come through the normal process. This is just for those things that there needs to be a decision made in the time prior to the next board meeting. That's the only, if it's something that's $1,000 and it's not going to be needed for 8 weeks, and it can come to the next regular board meeting, we can move right on.
Other questions, comments? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Richards.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
None. That's 4 to 1. Consent agenda items, is there anything, any discussion of any item anybody wants to pull? If you want to pull it or just make a comment on one, either way. If not, I will entertain a motion to approve items 22 through 37. I'll make that motion to approve those.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Talby. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. Item 38, authorized payment of salaries and accounts payable.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Talby,
Second.
second by Ms. Ritchie. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. 5-0. Have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Ritchie,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Heisel. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Everybody